Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Look on the screen, look on the screen. Just had to do this video. Um, Question, especially for the melanated ladies, are black women bosses the best, or is it possible that black women bosses could be the worst? Let's take a quick listen to this clip of this lady's perspective and how she feels about the entire thing. And I think maybe it's time that we have the conversation. Without further ado, here we go.
It's going to be a minority, babe. Keep that DEI hire and keep that job offer too. I prefer to work under white men, okay? White, middle age, men with a family, AARP eligible.
So hold on, you heard her say she prefers what? She prefers to work.
The ones that got the trip.
She prefers to work for a white male. And so she's African American.
A job and I find out my manager, my direct supervisor is going to be a minority, babe. Keep that DEI hire and keep that job offer too. I prefer to work under white men, okay? White, middle age, men with a family, AARP eligible, the ones that got the AAA, the ones that eat off the IHOP 55 plus menu, you know what I mean? The Medicare eligible ones, give me that. Give me that. Because as far as I'm concerned, the minorities, they like to make you pay back the dues that they had to pay in 1987 when they first got their job as the model minority, and they want to make sure that you have to do it too. Meanwhile, white man, he sees me, he goes, "Yep, let me give you this special project. What do you need? What's going to advance your career? How can I help you?" None of the passive aggressiveness, none of the micromanaging, none of that extra shit, right? Give me Jim, Bob, Bill. Give me that. Don't give me the minority, because as far as I'm concerned, anybody that looks like me or identifies as somebody who would be a DEI hire, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Y'all got a chip on y'all shoulder that I personally do not have the brain power to deal with. So as far as I'm concerned, hand me to the nearest white man.
Wow. She said, hand me to the nearest white man. Let's have a conversation. And listen, in my corporate days, I kid you not, some, I gotta be honest, male or female, of the non-melanated, I had a very, very tough experience with black women. And you know what it is? I think we're not used to the power structure. I think also what a big part of it is self hate. And I've noticed this, I kid you not, in my corporate America days, and I think it still applies to today. For example, our people as a collective not used to power, so when they get some power, sometimes you got to really, really watch out. You may as well have a Karen on your back. And don't be, I've seen this. Do not be a black woman that looks, this is so old, it ought to be out like an A-track. But don't be that black woman that's not tied down to a baby daddy, or you're a baby mama, or you might be a baby daddy, baby mother, but oh my goodness, you better not have your baby daddy seeing about you. You better not have a man, he's paying his child support and sending you flowers. Are you crazy? The angry black woman boss, oh my goodness, she'll be on you. Don't even look nice. I remember hearing stories like, oh yeah, she's the kind of black woman over here. If you're just real nice, she'll get rid of you. And listen, on multiple jobs. Me, I've been a fashionista. I've been that girl since my 20s. That's just, a clothes horse. Oh my goodness, always a problem. But if you're looking sad and you look like you barely made it, taking care of 5 children, oh my goodness, you haven't eaten your figure until the good of your blimp, not just knocking it, but you're not taking care of yourself. Oh my goodness. You can be a full figured girl, but you're just sitting up here taking care of yourself. Guess what? The angry black woman, she will pounce. Why is that? Because of self-hatred. Because of self-hatred. What she said about when they've paid their dues. Oh yes, if you're not on the struggle bus, not on the struggle bus, you're not on that struggle bus. Oh my goodness. We want you to know what I had to do in back in the day. Okay, that's you. It's a different age. I've even seen now, and you don't have to agree with everything people say. I can disagree on some things, but I might want, oh, I just hate you. So here's one person. Listen, on YouTube. Michi X has done these forums where she's about the community and she's traveling and people are raising money for her. Okay, when she was doing that, Tariq Nashi, he was doing some community events, and I guess she was. This maybe I'm like that was maybe about like ooh, from what I can recall, I'm thinking maybe a year or two ago, and they were like, having this venue, and it's like, you're hiring people to come and pay and speak, and you got the hotel and the car and all that. And I saw an older black person on YouTube. I knew what it was. Oh, they raising all this money for this and that. You don't need all that. And I thought to myself, what? You think somebody finna hop on a plane and pay their own expense to come to a speaking engagement? It's called an expense that has to be paid, and the speaker needs to be paid. You want somebody to put, I'll be done if I'm going to sit up here and have expertise on the matter, and I'm going to hop on a plane. You best believe I'm going to get paid a check and then get reimbursed. Why they got to stay in this hotel? Did you want the guests to stay at the Motel 6? Why they got to? And I said, oh, I knew what it was. I knew that the older person was hating the ones that were younger. I knew what it was. So you probably never experienced that and you don't understand it. And it's a new age now. And to see these two people making money, what's the common denominator? Matter of fact, from what I know, these two don't even like each other. But see, you're watching those two channels, which I watched myself, of course, especially Michi. The fact that they're raising some money, you're from the old school, and you want everybody because you had a hard time. You want the same for them, don't you? Because you had a hard time, you want the same for them. That's that's very common with this group. Why? Because we don't love each other. We don't really, we really don't. If some of us, if we had a hard time, when everybody's have a hard time too. So the fact somebody can get on social media and make some money and raise and do a function, maybe we can't relate to that. We've never done that. Oh, that haterade. I knew what it was. Just like that in business. I was gonna do a separate video, but there's so much going on. With who was that Love and Marriage Huntsville? Marsaw with that him and Tisha with that business. And they had that bar gonna have a grand opening, and then you had the old Negroes calling in trying to get it shut down. Oh, what's the problem? All these complaints because he didn't go to the church. Who give a darn? I mean, seriously, this is business, idiots. The self-hatred in the group is the problem. And I was like, wow. The self-hatred in the group is a problem when it comes to business, even when it comes to on the job. Those other people, they have a love for their community that many of us will never understand. And so, yeah, when we start out hard, we want everybody else to have it hard. The angry black woman, she does exist. And if she sees a black woman that may be cheerful, believe it or not, we have to be realistic. The jealousy is so strong because maybe the decisions that she made or what she was used to, for her to say to the black woman, all of a sudden we want to all of a sudden exert some power on each other. We want to make it sometimes, this is what I've seen, so miserable. I've had people working up under me. I was the exact opposite. That's not my nature. But oh, I have seen it. I have seen it. We love to try to keep each other down. I seen a black woman how many times go for a promotion, and next thing you know, it's another black woman that's trying to pull her down. I seen a black man, intelligent, educated, about to get a promotion. I mentioned that. 2 weeks away. The white boy didn't get it. He knew what to do. Sick the black woman on the black man. They have a difference of opinion. Words are exchanged. The black man goes to his desk. What the white boy do? He knew what to do. Run over there to the black woman, and this happened, yada yada. And of course, we're against our own. And what does she do? Oh, we're gonna do an investigation, yada yada yada. They even told that black woman, listen, they both have a different story. He's gonna be out of your department in about 2 weeks. He got to transfer to a different department. We're making more money. Do you know what that black woman did? That piece of crap. And I knew this young black man, very professional, not a dusty. She went ahead and fired him. Stop and think. Why do you think it? Because it was, and he's still in her department. So before it could even get there was like an issue of him having an ongoing problem. Sometimes having a boss that looks like you, sometimes that could be your doom. I've heard of people, I've known people in positions. It had to be somebody in my group. A person takes the day off, call them. The person has the day off or has a sick day. What the heck you calling for? Not that a CEO. Oh, I just had a question. Why? You want to make sure that they're at home. It's like, are you really serious? The self-hatred in this group is so strong. I even knew a person, I could not believe somebody called in sick and he was like, I could not believe it. It was a black man. He said, I knew that person wasn't sick. Why are you worried about it? And your manager is not your company. But they never do this to the non-melanated. He called a person a few times. I couldn't say, I didn't think that person wasn't sick. Why are you worried about it? You're sick. You were about the wrong thing. Do you know after he called the person that day, I think he said 3 times they called him, pretending to check up on him. Do you know what he told me that he did? He told me that he went and bought some soup and deliberately drove to the person's house, pretending to be caring, trying to bust him. He said, I just knew it, I just knew it. And it's like, wow. Again, you might as well work for the Klan. Went and bought some soup, went to the person's house, and said some folks was over there and said, oh, I knew you weren't sick, and I bought you this soup, yada, 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 as a ruse, and then fired the person. Why is it so hard for black people to work for somebody that looks like you? We love to sabotage. How many times, as a black woman, some of you all may know, but maybe the youngsters haven't. How many times have you seen a black woman get ready to leave a position and then she has to train another black woman? Ooh, you better hope it's one of her girlfriends, because if it's not, I have seen this. She will train her, a black woman, on purpose the wrong way to make her look like, oh my, this black woman is incompetent. And then they have to calm her back down or train her again. But I notice when it's a non-melanated, if it's a white girl, there's never that problem. She'll train and go on. Why is that? Those other people are used to power, used to having something. A lot of us, we look at each other, and based on how we feel about ourselves, it's a reflection. We equate blackness with poverty and sadness. And if a black woman looks decent and looks good and she's not looking like she's so sad and every day is a bad day, we want to zoom in on her and try to make it miserable. A friend of mine was doing some remote work, and she was like, the worst person she had to deal with, there were 2 managers, one white and one black. It was the black woman. And the black woman was like, oh yeah, I'm just checking on you. They were doing some remote work. And then she was like, no, I want the camera on. I want the camera on so I can see you. And she was like, what? We're talking on the phone, remote work. No, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go ahead and put your camera on, because I want to make sure you're at home working. I want to see you. I want to see you. With the white female manager, it was just on the phone, got some questions, clicked, and that's it. The black woman, I want to see you. I want to make sure you're at home. So I'm going to call you back and put your camera on. You just can't ask the question over the phone. Then you wonder why, when some black people become successful, I'm sorry. I understand. I'm beginning to understand Oprah. Look on Oprah's payroll. I don't agree with everything, of course not. I get it. Look how long woman been in business. Look who gave Oprah a chance. It was a white male. That's my understanding who gave her the chance day one. You think a black man would have chose Oprah for that job as a talk show host? He would try to find a non-melanated woman so fast. You think he would have chose Oprah? I doubt it. Some black women would have, would not have. So this here is sad, but it's one of our little secrets in the community. Again, what does she say?
My manager, my direct supervisor is going to be a minority, babe. Keep that DEI hire and keep that job offer too. I prefer to work under white men, okay? White.
Now, and I'm not saying, they're going to do the right thing. But I think so much, I think what happens, her sentiment, you experience so much extra drama that it just needs to be. I've actually seen black women in positions, and guess what? You can be the only black person. I have seen that myself. You could be the only black person, and believe it or not, I have experienced this. If it's a black bitter woman in charge, and don't let her have a man problem. Don't let her have a man problem. Oh Lord, it's about over for you, and you look cute and petite. She'll go out of her way. She'll have an apartment where it'll be rules for white people and rules for a black woman. I kid you not. I kid you not. I actually had a female boss. She was Caucasian. I must say she's one of the best bosses I ever had. Ever had. Do you know she told me we became friends later? Do you know she told me that when she hired me and she chose because the black woman was over her, so she made it known that I was going to be her candidate, and there was a whole lot of white people, and I was the last one to interview, and believe it or not, we just kind of like totally hit it off. The black woman told her, "Are you sure you want to hire her?" She said, "Yeah." It was wow. Why do some people feel this way? It's the experience. It is the experience. If you work for a black woman, it's best for you to feel like you, for the average one, not all, because again, I've been in a position like that, and I've never done that. I've had people to call me years later, to try to work for them. And I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore, because I'm not that person. I'm the exact opposite. I've had people work for me. Hey, things are slow. This is done. It's Friday. It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You can go ahead and go, and you're gonna get paid for the whole day. Why? I got this covered. It's not much for you to do today. The phones are gonna probably be slow. Go home with pay. And I'm not gonna old dock you for no 2 or 3 hours. I'm gonna still pay. That's why I've had people to call and say, "Hey, is anything going on? Or do you have any work for me?" That kind of thing. They're like working for me. Buy them lunch. Something good happens. If I can help you start a business, I'm there. I've done it with my own time, my own resources. Heck, I've even paid for the merchandise. Did you make some money? What we discussed? Yeah, I did. There you go. That's me. I know what it's like to be up under an angry black woman. She can be. You might as well deal with a Karen. But why is that? Because of the self hatred. Some people, their lives are so messed up. They want everybody else that looks like them. They think your life should be messed up. Meanwhile, Brad and them, they're used to power. They're used to power. They got to set up beyond that job. Their lives doesn't just start with that job. A lot of them are owning assets. They got the house and the lake house and the boat and daddy's company and all of that. That's why I keep saying I wish black women could somehow just, if we could for 6 months, I wish I had a whole lot of money. Gotta do something different. Oh, you think you know everything? Well, I know a little something, and I think what little I do know, I think it's worked out. I'm not going to tell you this about it, because I know some Even on this channel, they want to hear struggle. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all. But I think I know a little. Me and my girls, I think we know a little something. I think actually, I'm looking at things. I'm doing stuff right now on my own. I'm doing things right now on my own. Other than that, don't have to. I had ran up on a credit card, $12,000. My husband was talking about it. He's like, oh, she done ran his card up. What did you do? Guess what happened? This is too funny. This is hilarious. So he was talking about it to one of our, really is his close friend, which is also my friend. What do you think he said? What do you think the friend said? And this is Brad, of course. Did he say, hey, she better go get her a job and pay that card off? She ran it up. You think he said, A, she better go get a job and pay that card off? Maybe he said, B, you better get that card and cut it up. Or maybe he said, C, let her figure out how to pay it on her own. It was neither of those. What did his friend say? Well, it's your wife, so you just better go ahead and, work it in your budget to pay it off. He said, it's your wife. And he, of course, the guy knows me. He's like, just working in your budget to go ahead and pay it off. Most of us aren't used to that. Well, she better go get her a real paying job. She up here running up dead on some shopping and stuff. That's what we're used to. We're used to the struggle bus. And if you're not on the struggle bus, oh me, oh my, what am I going to do? Even in the community, other women will hate you. You think a dust bucket would have said that? Man, I know she better simply go get her a job. That's what said. Well, she better go do put that off on you. Excuse me. But this here, I get it. You have to understand when you have a group of women who have, the collective of men, let's just be realistic at the bottom, and when they get on, they get gone. So when you have a group of women that have had children by this man, and they're pretty much the primary provider. Sorry, my allergies. They're the primary provider, the breadwinner. What do you expect? So heaven forbid somebody is not struggling. Oh my goodness. Again, what did the lady say? And I can understand.
Minority babe, keep that DEI hire and keep that job offer too. I've heard her work under white men, okay? White, middle age, men with a family, AARP eligible, the ones that got the AAA, the ones that eat off the IHOP 55 plus menu, you know what I mean? The Medicare eligible ones, give me that. Give me that. Because as far as I'm concerned, the minorities, they like to make you pay back the dues that they had to pay.
I had a heart, yes. A lot of them, that's why a lot of them feel that way about the young. The fact that I've really heard somebody even about the young people who are making money on YouTube. Angry. Oh my gosh. They didn't have that. So it's really, really sad. Really sad.
In 1987, when they first got their job as the model minority, and they want to make sure that you have to do it too. Meanwhile, white man, he sees me, he goes, yo, let me give you this special.
Because he already has his own, used to power, used to resources. And we want to prove that we're the tough one. So this here, it's sad. And I'm not saying that all Brads and all of them are going to be the best boss. No, they can be drama too. But it is a known fact in the community, especially Black women, this is to be expected. Why? This is the norm. This is the norm. And I think that's why she feels that way. Me, I can understand. So, what do you all think? Why is it that in a lot of cases, if you're a Black woman, your nightmare can be a Black woman boss? Why? Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.